everyone. Um, my name is Kiefer Chong. I'm the head of marketing and strategy from SRKK. Of course, my team member want to run this podcast and they cannot find the handsome person in the company, so I'm the one. Right. So together with me, I have our legendary CTO, Mr. Pang, Wai-in. All right. So I think this has been long time, but we both of us sit down together since last year we went for San Francisco for Microsoft Ignite, right? So, what do you feel right now when we sit down in front of the cameras for this podcast? What do you feel?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Kiefer. Thanks for inviting me here. Great to have this session with you. I think you're absolutely right. It's been quite a while since we had, one-to-one chat.
Yes.
Although we don't really report, we are not direct reports to each other. But yeah, I think we had a good time. Sharing knowledge, sharing our experiences. In last year's November Microsoft Ignite event. I hope that you also gain something out from the trip. And yeah, looking forward to share more, during our conversation today.
Right, definitely. So from the trip in US, of course, different views, especially AI, agentic AIs. I think this is the reason why, as a marketing team, as a marketing team, we want to run this kind of podcast, which realize that even last year Transform, we doing AI, right?
Right.
So, FYI, guys, we have just done our Singapore Transform, right, last month. So our topic is about agentic AI. So for today's podcast is actually more of the post transform, right? Questions from the Singapore questions. I would like to get Mr. Pan answer lah from the transform. Of course, before we really start, right? I want to introduce Mr. Pang official better lah, right? Maybe I can say that Mr. Pang is why I keep saying Mr. Pang is a legendary in SRKK. I think you are starting from working level throughout to CTO almost 16 years, am I right?
Yes, I joined SRKK in mid-2010. So it's May 2026. So I'm pretty much close to finishing 16 years in SRKK. Yeah.
So no, when you are 16 years ago, meaning 16 years ago, meaning I'm still playing sand in my school, right? So I think you can see a lot of difference in terms of the world, IT world and SRKK as well. I think last 16 years ago, there's no marketing, not so pro marketing because without me, no, I'm just kidding, right? So, and then of course, the world is changing from, to cloud lah, to AI right now, agentic AI, and then agentic AI bring to security. So you basically you see all the changes, right? I would say.
I've been fortunate to see the shift in different technology areas, right? So like you rightly point out, yes, I was there, when the explosion of the .com, in the year 2000, when all this, like the era of the internet, I was very fortunate among my peers, my friends, group of friends back in the early 90s when, we have access to probably something that most current generation millennials may not be familiar with, the modem. So that's the one that the device that you plug in the telephone line.
Yes, jarring.
Yeah, it dials the jarring, or dials to any other the service provider, internet service provider here in Malaysia. Speeds then were probably like 33, 56 kilobits per second.
Yes.
Now, of course, with our broadband speeds, reaching 1 gigabit per second, 2 gigabits, that's getting more and more common today, especially in other, not only just in Malaysia, but many other countries around the world. Right. I've been through the mobile era. I've also managed to experience the cloud.
Yes.
And of course, now more recently, yes, since post-COVID, post 2020, the era of AI, and specifically, while we started with generative AI, that was when ChatGPT was introduced. Now starting this year, I think it's very clear that the shift has already moved from just generative AI to more agentic AI. So leveraging on agents to do tasks, not just to react to your prompts, but also to take actions, proactive actions beyond the prompt.
Yes. So this is the reason why we have this podcast, and especially this year Transform. If you are our customers, we are focusing on the team of agentic AI because AI is everyone know about AI, right? I think it's a topic that everyone know AI. So, but not everyone know about agentic AI and how agentic AI works in the company and how we define the ROI, especially come to agentic AI. So this come to the first question I wanted to ask, right? Right. This is a lot of questions asked during Singapore Transform. And FYI, Mr. Pang is also one of the he's the moderators for our Singapore Transform. All right. So beyond productivity metric, how company assess ROIs, when they have agentic AI. I understand that right now, a lot of, news saying that agentic AI will replace people. That can make last time we need 10 people. Right now we have actually one agentic AI can cover the 10 people. How does it? Is this considered one of our ROI definitions? How we want to assess this? Maybe can answer this question.
Great question, Kiefer. Let me try to do my best to address.
You are the best question in SRKK.
Well, I think first we have to take a look at what generally people expect of AI. Many, of course, expect that with AI, all right, I give it a prompt, and then it gives me an output.
Yes.
In the earlier days of AI, probably 2 years back, when we first see ChatGPT.
Yes.
Okay, and of course, after ChatGPT, there are many other more similar chatbots that appeared, powered by generative AI capabilities. So you ask it a question, it gives you an output. And if you make that simple comparison, in those earlier days, when you want to search for information on the internet, what do? You probably fire up your web browser, right?
Google.com.
Yeah. You do a search.
Yahoo.
And then, you do a search, it comes up with a list of, the results. And then you still got to filter and check which ones, that you feel are relevant. Those take time, right? So one measurement of perhaps ROI back then, people look at how much time I save.
Yes.
Yeah. So when come with this ChatGPT and all other similar chatbots, right, then it simplifies this whole same outcome. You no longer have to, get a search through results or filter results. The AI does it for you. Right? The AI presents everything for you. Of course, yes, the better ones would put citations or references to where you got the information from. So therefore, it's easier for you to validate or verify whether the information is more or less accurate, or did it hallucinate the information on its own, right? Whether the AI got the right output. So everyone was very, very intrigued, very, very excited that, hey, look, now it's much easier to search and get the results I want.
Yes.
Right. And therefore also accelerated my learning curve, my learning pace. Right. And then people start to try more and more prompts. And I think now in the era of agentic AI, everyone is not expecting more from AI already. They no longer expect, like I mentioned earlier, they don't just expect like, help me draft a letter, right, to my manager about this. So yes, the chatbot or the AI will respond, but you still have to manually copy and paste that response into your preferred Word document, word processing, document, or any other productivity tool. But now with agent, it can actually take that content that you generated, put it into a document, and after it's in the document, you can still tell the AI to make changes or to edit it without you directly typing into a document. So that's the power of agentic. So agentic allows the AI to actually take action. Key phrase here, take action, not just respond. Okay. So now it means that to measure ROI, we have to go beyond what I shared earlier as an example, saving time. So now the AI is capable of producing, so that now you can start measuring certain level of productivity, right? Based on whether or not it can generate, X number of documents, whether it helped to save, this not only just time, but also the decision-making time, right? Because once you have all this data that you can, extract, then you can make decisions, good business decisions. And I don't think we should just stop there, right? To get the true ROI, business owners or the business leaders must clearly define the actual success that they want from the AI, right? Be it whether it's about, from a productivity standpoint, it can be how much dollars I save. So when I can do all these tasks repeatedly using agentic AI, and I can do it at scale, then I can start saving more money, not just time, saving more money. So better bottom line, or to do better sales, better top line. So these are some of the other ROIs or metrics of measurement or success that the business leaders must put thought into
All
in
right.
order to realize ROI.
Understand. So you talk about time, saving time, efficiency. This come to my next question. My next question actually is more the question from my team member as well, right? Will agentic AI replace human? Okay, according to research, this is the research I get from the news. A lot of people saying that, got this is the arguments and from your opinion also. So
Right.
actually, so the research saying that actually agentic AI won't replace human. Actually, actually the indirectly give humans more works. You know why? Because just like you also mentioned, people will tend to promote, do more. Then yes, increase efficiency, meaning your teams save time. At the same time, management will also expect you to do more. Maybe, maybe. All right. Is this so this argument whether is increased efficiency so that people can work better, or we will be getting replaced one day? Maybe one day I'm not here. Maybe it's a robotic or AI in talking with you. Maybe is it what is your opinion? I know there's a no yes and no answer, but I think from a CTO perspective, from tech, I think your view is important for us.
From a technical standpoint, I think with AI in the picture, AI can do certain things probably better than humans, right? Because especially at repetitive tasks. Okay, as humans, we are prone to human errors. If we work long enough on certain tasks, sometimes we make silly mistakes.
Yes.
Because of tiredness, we also make mistakes.
Yes.
So these are all the human factors involved. But with AI, right, it can produce consistent results, and especially if deployed in the right scenario where it involves a lot of repetitive tasks, you want to automate the tasks, you want to get consistent, accurate results, AI can be a very good fit. But of course, the easy view to look at this, once it can do that very well, a human no longer needs to do the task. Therefore, everyone has that perception that it eliminates tasks. I know the lie. It's quite true. So especially for this kind of task, then yes, AI can or will eliminate certain job functions from humans. But that does not mean the human no longer has a role to play, right? And I talk about when you have all these repetitive tasks, you can do one task very well. Imagine it can more of this AI agents, right? Doing the same other repetitive tasks at scale. So you have so many different of these agents, maybe starting with 1, scaling to 10, scaling to hundreds, eventually maybe even thousands, right? And when you have that many agents, so you treat the agents like another employee or staff member, except this is not a physical person. It is a virtual or digital person. And therefore, you still have to manage this agent just like any other staff or employee. That person that used to do the task now has to perhaps elevate themselves to a higher role. In other words, they may now start looking at managing agents. All right, the agents are doing the task. The human being in the loop still has to validate the output, check to make sure that it's still doing it right. Random sampling or otherwise. And it also can manage, and step in to take control when the AI is unable to perform the task. So the human still has a place. We didn't eliminate the human, function, but what work that human will do then has changed. The composition of work has changed. No longer doing the task, but managing people or managing the agents doing the tasks. So this will, is starting to. We can see this trend starting to happen. And if some of you are familiar with, some of the future trends that's coming up, IDC said 1.3 billion agents will probably be created by 2026.
So meaning that everyone
there'll be a lot of agents everywhere in the world, right?
Everyone's born to be a leader to lead the agent, or trained to be a leader to lead the agent.
Perhaps, yeah. So the nature of how we do work will shift. Right, so phase 1, in this shift would be what we call the human assistant, right, where you as a human have a AI as an assistant, and that's the simplest example using ChatGPT or any other similar chatbots. Then the next phase in transition would be you as a human working with agents. So the agents do the task, right? You still have to give it some prompts, or at least you have to still supervise it. Eventually, as you scale that, that's the third phase or final phase of transition to be, what we call a frontier firm and a company that really leverages on AI for a lot of their capabilities, to go to market. And that's when you have all these different teams of agents doing all these functions. So you may have a bunch of agents doing sales, another bunch of agents doing technical support, another bunch of agents doing some financial reconciliation or any other finance functions. And then there's always humans, supervising over these teams of AI agents. So that role will shift as we see.
Seems like the world is shifting to another eras. Now is like, for example, manager people level, under me, I have 10 specs or 10 headcount. Maybe the next future is I have 100 agents work for me. This will be the eras happening.
So I think we as humans also need to look at reskilling, right? To look at the way that we create all these prompts. We have to be very creative with these prompts. The right prompt will definitely get the better prompt will definitely get a better result. If you are still poor at prompting today, then this is an area that as humans we need to upskill.
Yes, upskill. How about this upskill? So means, some of the working level people also think that, hey, I will just all this, my whole life working, I just want to work for, it's a solo contributor, I just want to report. Meaning that in the next era of a working experience, working environment is like, even you are like basic working level, you also can to have your own agent, your own reporting line, meaning with the agent. Am I right? This is the thing.
So you can create your own agent. So today you don't have to wait to hire the talent. You create the talent. It is possible.
Yeah.
Right. With all the different low code or no code tools, to create AI agents today. Of course, the most sophisticated one, you probably need to look at more sophisticated tools, which requires more effort. But I would say that pretty much almost anyone, whether with or without a technical background, can easily get started with creating their own agents to get started on, to help you.
Yes. Basically, I also can create my own, personal assistant. So basically, what I email you, what I WhatsApp you, what I text you, actually is from my PA also.
Yeah, just helping you to organize your emails every morning, right? To help you sort out what are the priority emails to reply from the day before, right? There are some agents that can, that understands the way that you write. It can even help you to craft the response or replies to those emails much faster than before, waiting for you to just approve to send. Yeah. So, and as we grow, more and more, more capable in this agentic AI, I do see that agents will become more autonomous. Today, they already have some level of autonomy where, you give them the first prompt, you set them out to do a task that say, research this company, get me these results, then send an email, on some sales page and all this. It can do that. It can figure out, how to get the task done, even without you providing all the details. So that level of autonomy is there. But I think now agents can also be used to create other new agents as well. So if it doesn't have the skill, it's able to learn a new skill. So that's the evolution that we see today with AI. It's really evolving very, very fast.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Pang, for explaining these agents thing, how agents work and the employment. This also come to another questions. I think that is worth to ask. So extensions of this, you say about agents, low code high code etc. But in SRKK customer base, we also have different company size for the customers. So quite a number of SME customer ask this question: will SME using AI adoption, is it overkill and especially the per seat license costly right? So how can SME adopt AI if the subsidy ends this kind of we have some of the, especially Singapore, we have subsidy in terms of AI. I think Malaysia we have also. How the SME should see view on this for AI adoption.
I think with AI adoption, I'm not sure how many people approach it, but my usual approach to AI adoption is start with a quick use case or quick win. Get the AI to work on something that that you can drive the results coming out, right? Can be, like I said, as simple as how can we take AI and even create just a simple financial report. I know sometimes for many businesses, when they have financial data sitting in many different repositories of storage across many different systems, and it takes a lot of effort just to consolidate some of this financial data. And today, I think this is something that can be repeated many times. So the agent at least has a genuine value. So like I said earlier, we have to define what success we want for the AI. So the AI is able to help us to reconcile our financial reports, to produce that monthly report to our senior management or whoever else that needs the support. Then with this quick win, okay, when you really know that AI can do this, the next question you should ask yourself, can I afford not to scale this? So again, I want to emphasize that AI is not about just trying today. We want to aim for actual success, right? The time to try and experiment is, the trend is shifting. People for the last 2 years have been just trying and experimenting. Now results, it's time to produce the results. AI needs to produce the results. So start with a quick win. Talk to your partner, talk to anyone who can help you. Even if you need some funding to get that small win, I'm sure there's a lot of other government agencies out there, whether in Malaysia, Singapore, or whichever country you're in. I'm sure every nation today has some government assistance, get you started on your AI journey. Right? Of course, for SRKK, for our customers, SRK, we do have access to some funding and some programs from our technology partners, which we can help you to get started on your AI journey. And with the quick win, and we want to look at how we can scale that to more use cases. And by then, although yes, there is a license cost, even with the initial small win, can we afford not to even leverage more AI once you know that you have that win, and you know that you can get even more wins with AI, right? And once the AI starts impacting your bottom line or your top line, you can get more revenue, you have better profitability. For sure, everyone's convinced that definitely AI is the way to go, right? And it's the same for SRK. We're also all in on the whole AI journey to help our customers. So we ourselves are trying on ourselves as customer zero. We're building agents. We are hiring our internal in-house developers to build agents for ourselves, either for sales, for HR, for finance, for marketing.
Yes.
Right? We're building all these agents, and there are wins ready. We're building more, and we want to share all this also with our customers.
Talk about all in. Yes, SRKK definitely all in AI, right? So even when we run this Transform Singapore, I mean not just Transform Singapore. Since last year, I think Malaysia Transform. Our CSO Alex Tam is wearing the Captain Co-pilots, right? Captain Co-pilot, I would say that. So this branding, of course, we want to promote co-pilots, right? So people ask about co-pilots because people complain now co-pilot is not compare with others like ChatGPT, it's not much, Copilot is more dumb. Of course, I think the only thing that we always tell people why is Copilot, because Copilot cannot let the data security, this kind of thing. So in terms of this, anything you want to add on about the Copilots?
Let me take a shot at this. It's a good question. It's a good question, and I also hear this also from our customers, right? They always think that there are many other tools out there that is just as capable, if not more capable than Microsoft Copilot, and maybe costs a lot less.
Yes.
Right. So I think the reality is I want to acknowledge that there is no perfect AI tool out there. No AI can give you that 100% guarantee. And just like security, we can never guarantee 100% security. You're never attacked you are safe from cyber attacks and all this. So every AI tool has its own strengths and weaknesses. And what I can say that for Microsoft, okay, not just their Copilot, their whole entire AI technology, Microsoft is a platform company, okay? Meaning that in this case, they look at not trying to be beating on features. What Microsoft aims to do is to look at integrating the best of the AI ecosystem right out there. So you'll probably hear a lot in the news that Microsoft collaborates with a lot of other tech partners.
Yes.
Anthropic.
Yes, I'm using.
Example. Yeah. So you can see that instead of trying to tell everyone, look, Copilot is the best, and Claude, is not as good. You can see that now Microsoft is collaborating with Claude, bringing in the Claude, AI model. So it has integrated AI model into Copilot.
Mm.
So now you as a user, okay, you have a choice to use the GPT, the OpenAI GPT,
Yes.
all right? Whether it's 4.0 or 5, or now you also have a choice of Claude. So imagine if a customer is subscribing to Claude, you only get Claude. You don't
Yes.
get any other models. So Microsoft being a platform company, it looks at integrating all these best capabilities of the ecosystem. Yes, it may not be there from day one, but Microsoft is pretty quick to get this integration in, because the speed of how the evolution and the change in AI in this year. If a new model is announced today, you can be rest assured within less than a month, Microsoft will probably have integrated that new model, be it from OpenAI, and now of course with Claude, when Claude released that model, then it won't be long before Microsoft also adopts the same model. And when you scale that to even into the Azure capabilities, Azure has access to more than 11,000 AI models, more than most other platforms out there. So if you're only locking on one AI tool, then you're just locking on one AI tool. Microsoft has access to more than one. And as the user, you just choose what's the best fit. If Claude is the best fit, use Claude. If OpenAI is the best fit, use OpenAI. And you can make all this comparison, test it out, try it.
All right, talk about this Copilot. So means Copilot is depends on the company environments lah. How to say? So the ecosystem of Microsoft. So talk about this also. The security wise, definitely if you're using the Microsoft as a platform, the data leaking to external, yes, can be reduced. Of course, there's not the perfect platform. But also the next question, if I am a marketing guy, I'm using Copilot heavily. For example, if the internal, IT not doing a very good job in terms of which file I can access, which can. So for example, I want to know, hey boss, what's your salary like that? Can it be done, and how Copilot can actually works? Because Copilot's very good in searching internal things, especially prompting like our data lah, right? So yeah, how Copilot works.
So I think you sum it up. I'll sum it up by saying that yes, you need to fuel AI, you need data.
Yes.
So when you have garbage data, you also get garbage results.
Correct.
Okay, and garbage here doesn't mean it's just bad data. It can also be badly governed data. So like you point example, if today we don't prepare the data environment or the data landscape correctly, you could be accessing information that you're not supposed to access. True. So definitely before embarking on AI, definitely the organization needs to do an assessment on their data landscape, especially on security, to make sure that the data that the AI is supposed to work on is relevant. And that's where, as part of our journey, we can help with this assessment. We can help to what we call contain the data set or ground the data only within this set of data, to make sure that the AI only works on that piece of data rather than across the whole organization. Right? We don't open the floodgates to everything. We just start small. Right? Like I said, remember, we said start with the use case just to help consolidate financial reports. Just work with those financial data first. Don't open up to anything else other than, let's say, emails or anything. Just on the Excel sheets relevant to the finance report. Once you have the success, then only start and broaden your horizon of data bit by bit. Make sure that we have control and governance. Okay? And of course, Microsoft being an ecosystem, like I said, platform company, within its ecosystem, yes, it has all the complete tools, end-to-end tools you need for your AI, for customers, for organizations' AI journey, whether it's from the LLM, the brains, right, the AI brains. You also have the security tools for governance, right? Of course, the customer can integrate a separate third-party tool, but it comes at maybe perhaps higher costs, right? When you bundle things together within the same ecosystem, definitely you have savings, right? But if the customer chooses to third party, it can be integrated, maybe not as seamless, but it still works, right? With higher costs. Then if you want the flexibility to like I said, to shift between different models, to integrate with other tools, yeah, Microsoft has that platform. Compare that with Google, you compare that with Anthropic, they have some elements of governance, security, but not complete. It's my belief that it's not complete. You still need additional tools. So customers can definitely get a good value, right, by bundling or consolidating everything under one technology stack, which is Microsoft.
All right, thank you.
Mm.
Okay, of course, I think I need to back to a very general topics that actually related to me as well, right? So, what do you think that did I do a good job in marketing?
Well, I think marketing definitely needs to get the right message out.
Yes,
Especially not about what SRK do, but also what's happening in the AI world today, right?
yes,
Like I said, AI is so much new things happening, and we also hear both the good and bad news.
yes,
We have heard, achievements and milestones, achieved in AI, breakthroughs in medicine, breakthroughs in, agility of speed. But also it comes that also bad things to make sure that we are grounded on reality, right? I just read this the other day, right? There was this company that also leveraged on some AI tools, but because of some accident, the AI tool, because of they don't have the proper security boundaries, right? The AI tool somehow make its own decision to start deleting the company's database. Okay, can you imagine, right? The AI now acting just like a human without a manager's or supervisor's approval starts deleting custom databases.
I see.
Right? But thankfully, of course, there are backups. So we can still recover from backups. Yeah. So I think marketing is very, very key. And I think we've been doing a good job to educate our customers both on the good and not say don't, but point out some tips, how to
Yes.
better manage AI.
You know what? I asked this question
Yeah.
because me and my team. I mean, we received an email from my from CEO about the McKinsey research about how agentic AI change marketing works,
Okay.
including like the workflow, how automations work, like especially in design, right? Actually, in terms of my team members, actually design team, we actually have try out this kind of agentic AI in terms of design. So we can see the limit there in terms of brand guideline, etc. So this question is, where are the real limit of AI in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you think? Ask this question in terms of I can able to secure my job, this AI, but I want to know the next 5 to 10 years, can I still in this workforce? So it's a tough question. Maybe from you, what your perspective, or are you concerned about one day you will be replaced by AI as well?
Well, I think we see a lot of these reports about humanoid robots, right?
Yes.
Starting to take shape, all right?
Correct.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, but truth be told, AI is very powerful today.
Yes.
My thoughts are AI is very powerful today, and it will become even more powerful in the near future, especially as our computing capabilities keep increasing, right? As you know, if you follow Moore's law, right? 20, 30 years ago, CPUs are only able to compute that much. But now today, CPUs are shrinking, but at the same time getting more and more powerful.
Yes.
Okay, so better compute. Compute also powers AI. So what I think AI can never replace, and I think I feel it's always going to be true. It cannot replace a human empathy, the creative side, the emotion, right? AI probably has no emotion. I don't think you can program or make it understand emotions, right? Emotion is what makes sometimes human do illogical decisions.
Yes, of course.
Despite whatever logical options are available.
Yes.
Right? So the human factor. So I think this is what's important, that if we follow what we call the responsible AI principles, to make sure that there's always a human in the loop, right? Or as part of the responsible, that means you've got to make sure that AI is fair, it is not biased, it is transparent, you know what it's doing. Okay, maybe I have to just refer what are the few principles of ethical AI here, right? Yeah. So with all this responsible AI principles framework, right? This is how we help to govern AI, and this is what we have to impose all these limits, right? Otherwise, like I said, if AI is left to run on its own, imagine the havoc that it can also produce. Like the example I said, the AI starts deleting customer databases because it decided that these databases are not clean or it has a risk. It decides on its own. Okay, that's not what you want. Although yes, there's backup. If there's a point, you can always restore, but that's for a human to decide if the risk is worth it. right? The AI without empathy, right? I don't think that it can replace a human in that sense. You know, if you want to take emergency leave because of of personal matters, the AI may not understand that. But the human, if I was a manager and understand, Kiefer, you've been a good employee, you produce results. This sudden emergency is beyond our control, beyond your control. You need to take it, by all means go. But AI will just say, look, you have no more leave. By logic,
Cannot.
Yes. Right? And I think also the other limits of AI is more on the governance and cultural aspects. Okay, how we govern the AI, just like another so-called human, right? So how we want to manage it to make sure that we bring out the best of AI rather than the worst of it.
So if the robotic plus AI, meaning that future there's a possibility of human versus robotic AI worse lah.
I think that's always what you see in the movies, right?
Yes,
right?
correct.
You see in the movies, right? Like that. I mean, maybe one day I don't see in my lifetime, to be honest.
You're still young, huh?
We're still young. I don't think that we'll see this level of AI capability in my lifetime at least.
But it's only the chief AGI, consider AGI, so people can the AI can understand humans then against human.
Well, I think if you see science fiction, right? I mean, if I point out to all this Marvel Iron Man, like Jarvis, right?
Yes.
Jarvis talks and acts just like
yes,
right? Very reasonable, can do so many things. Right? I mean,
yes,
that's the vision. Okay, can we get there? Eventually, I believe one day we can. Takes time, but even someone like Jarvis, like I said, is still governed or still managed within the principle.
yes.
What they call the responsible AI principle.
Support Iron Man, Nani.
Not just support Iron Man, but it knows, it has to report, what is done, it's transparent what it's doing, it's fair, it doesn't, it's not supposed to show bias, whether you're male, female, you are, you are of your ethnicity, right? Your race or all this. So AI is supposed to be neutral. It's a tool for everyone to access in order to empower yourself to do more, to be better. That's how I see it. Yeah.
All right. So I think in short it's about human who can work with AI versus those with women that can work with AI in shorts. So meaning that the next 5 to 10 years, including me, you, and the next generations is whether you want to work with AI or you cannot work with AIs. I think this is another generations eras that we will see.
Yep.
So I think from a history, like we have from agriculture to industry, we wipe off a bunch of farmer. At the same time, we create another job opportunity. I believe that this AI is the same thing.
Yep.
Create another job opportunities.
Yep.
All right. It's almost 3:30, 3:45. I think my team members is already shouting and ending. All right. So I think that's all for today. All right. Okay. Anyway, so again, looking forward for our next episode. Let's guess who is our next episode guest. Maybe again will be Mr. Pang. Do you enjoy this podcast?
Thank you, Kiefer. I think I enjoyed this conversation. I definitely look forward to being invited back on the show.
Okay, of course. We also want to know feedbacks from our customer so that we know that this will be the good initiative we will continue to work on. Right. So I think that's all for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.